baseball guy. He'll tell you a little bit about his program and how he works with kids with disabilities, and he'll introduce his special guest.
Hi guys, good morning. How are you? Good. So this is Disabilities Awareness Week, right? You've been learning a lot? That's awesome. So again, I'm Steve, and I work for an organization called Easterseals, Michigan. This is an organization that's been around for almost 100 years. Yeah, and their main mission is to help individuals with disabilities. And I run an organization for them called the Miracle League of Michigan. And we built a $1 million baseball field for children with disabilities. And I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But I want to start by asking you guys a question. We're talking about disabilities. Who thinks they know what that means? What does disability mean? Right here.
It could mean like people that don't like their brain doesn't function.
So it might be mental, cognitive, yes. Any other ideas? Yeah.
They can't do stuff like see, walk, or hear.
Yes.
They can't like sometimes disabilities mean you can't do as much stuff as other people can do, but you still have the same like reaction to some things. But like
good. That's awesome. Any more? All right, so we have a good idea. You know, I thought about that too, because I work with 400 kids with all forms of disability. But I never really thought about it because to me, I see everyone as just a typical kid. But when thinking about it, I kind of came up with my own definition, and it's individuals that can't do what we take for granted, right? They can't do something that we take for granted. And so my message to you today is that regardless of ability, we're all pretty much the same. So we want to treat people all the same way, with honor and respect. Any of you guys out here watch YouTube? A lot. So you know what it takes to make a YouTube video, right? You've seen channels where people are in front of the camera. You've watched gaming videos maybe, where somebody's talking about a game. Well, how would you do that if you were blind and you couldn't see?
you just hear.
That would be pretty difficult. So I want to share with you a video of a very popular YouTube vlogger. His name is Casey. Casey Neistat. I'm amazed by how many of you guys know who Casey is. But he found a vlogger that was blind. And let's watch this video and we'll talk about it when I'm done.
She's here. Hello!
Wait, am I looking?
Yeah.
Right there.
Right there.
But the reality is, this is my normal. This is my everyday. And for people who are in wheelchairs, for people who are blind, for people who are deaf or missing a limb, this is our normal.
But let me ask you a question about that. Did that girl look different? If you would have seen her anywhere, would you have thought she had a disability? So now I want to tell you about that $1 million baseball field we built 14 years ago for children with disabilities. You play sports, I'm guessing? How many play sports? How many play baseball? Why is that number lower, Caleb? I mean, come on, it's the American pastime, baseball.
Soccer, I don't know.
So kids want to play baseball. They want to get out there just like you do. But they weren't able to do that because of their disability. But if you're in a wheelchair walker, how do you get around on grass and dirt? It's very hard. Have you guys ever tried to ride a bike on grass or in sand? It's very hard. So what we did with this $1 million was we put down a synthetic rubber surface so it's flat and you're going to see it in a minute. So now wheelchairs and walkers can move with ease. And these kids can't all do it alone. So we have to use volunteers. We call them buddies. And they come out and they help our players. In fact, in another year or two, you may want to come out to our field and help these kids too. But after being on the baseball field, playing with them and helping them. Volunteers, kids like you walk away and go, you know what? They like the same video game I like. They like the same sports team I like. They realized that they're pretty much the same. We may look different, but we're all the same. And I'm going to show you a video on Caleb Derwin and then let you meet him. In this video, you're going to see our field and see how special our kids are.
The miracle was when we created this field and were able to come to them and say, you can do it now. You can be an all-star. And your brother, sister, and family can come watch you.
It levels the playing field, where physically and mentally challenged children can showcase their skills, proving there is nothing they can't do.
That's the point. You work towards something that you want to do. And as long as you put your mind to it, you can do anything and everything.
How about that, huh? As long as you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Believe it, you can achieve it. Let's meet the man, Caleb Derwin.
Hi guys. A little bit about me. I am a junior in high school, not too much older than you guys. I'm homeschooled, so never been to public school in my life. It's a little bit different, but we get the job done and we do school. I have 3 brothers. I have a brother who's 15. I have a brother who's 18 months old, and I have a brother who is not even a month old. So that's just a little bit about me, and what I'm here to teach you guys about today is the ABCs of disability awareness. Everybody knows their ABCs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you don't know your ABCs, then we might have a problem. But if you do know your ABCs, we're going to teach them to you in a whole different way so that you know how to treat kids with disabilities when you see them, when you're around with them, when you're interacting with them, in such a way that makes them feel included. Now let me just share a little bit about myself. That first picture, I was born at 3 pounds, 13 ounces. I was born 8 weeks early. If you can see it, my mom's hand is inside holding onto my entire hand with just one of her fingers. That just kind of shows you how small I am. Do you notice how the diaper goes way up to my middle of my stomach? That's how small I was when I was born. I stayed in the hospital about 1 month. Now, that picture on the right with that snazzy looking fella, that was taken about a year ago. I've grown a little bit since, and I've had awesome opportunities to share about disabilities and how to be aware about disabilities. Now, they said cerebral palsy is a brain injury that can affect your legs, your arms, your gross motor, your speech. It affects the muscles in my arms and legs. For me specifically, you can't catch it from me. It's not like Ebola, so you don't have to go home and say, I have CP, Mom, I don't know what to do. So you won't catch it from me, and the condition does not get worse. A lot of hard work. Do you guys think that I would be here today if it weren't for just a little bit of hard work?
No.
No, right? So I stood and took steps for the first time when I was 4 1/2. Most of you guys walk when you're 8, 9 months old. That was not the case with me. I first used canes and wheelchairs to get around, and I've been to the doctors more than you guys probably will for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's kind of my backstory. So I want to teach you guys what it's like to have a disability. In fact, I'm going to grab this chair from you and use this as an example. Drag this to the middle because I want to show you what it's like to have horrible balance, because that is just kind of what I have to deal with on a daily basis. So it takes me longer to do normal things, right? I didn't learn how to tie my shoes for the longest time. Some days are really long and tiring. Anybody know how to get dressed? Yeah, everybody knows how to get dressed, right? So for me, if my balance isn't that good and I've got this cane, right, it's like an extra leg basically. It keeps me stable, right? So if I wasn't using this cane, you guys would all be squished. You guys are like, ow, he fell on me. That's because I wouldn't have a cane, right? So this cane right here, if I lift it up, then I start to move forward. You guys think I'd be passing out? So I want you to know that simple things are rather hard, right? Everybody, gets dressed, comes to school. If my balance is good, do you guys think I'll be able to put pants and a shirt on without falling over? So guess what? I use the ledge of my bed to sit down, put a shirt on, put some pants on, But does that make me use my legs? If I'm sitting down and getting dressed like this, whatever, does that make me use my legs?
No.
Good. So one of the goals that I set for myself was just to tie a bow tie. And as you can see, I tied a bow tie, but do you guys want to know if it's real?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
with a little bit of hard work,
I can do that.
with a little bit of hard work, you can do what you want as long as you put your heart, soul, and mind into it. That is kind of what it's like to have a disability. So that kind of shares with you what that's like. Some of the goals that I've reached, I've been playing baseball since I was 5 years old. I drive a car. I'm a high school student, but I also am in college. If you guys can imagine that, you're like, I'm only in 4th grade. I don't know what I want to do. Yeah, so that is kind of some of the things that I've reached. See, I'm a business major, right? So I'm taking college classes in high school. Those are just a couple of the things that I've gotten to be able to do throughout my 17 years on this earth so far. So now let's get down to the meat and potatoes of the speech, the ABCs of disability awareness. Everybody knows them, right? But I'm going to teach you guys these ABCs in a totally different way so that you know how to treat kids with disabilities. So the first letter of the alphabet is an A. When you see kids with disabilities, ask questions. Don't just stare at someone who you see to be different. Don't ask questions like, why do you walk funny, man? It looks really weird. Is that a good, kind question to ask?
No.
Okay, good. So you guys kind of get the point. You're like, if you came up to someone and said, what's wrong with your legs? Would that be good?
No.
Would that be nice and kind? No, it's rude, right? So the next thing you need to do is ask if you can help. But don't automatically think that they can't do something, right? For example, it may take me longer to do stuff, but I like to do it by myself, right? So, for example, if they fall over, for whatever reason they lose their balance, don't help them up right away. But if you can see that they're struggling and they ask, be ready to help. That's the whole point of asking good questions and asking if you can help. But don't automatically think that they can't do something. Even before you see people with disabilities, ask them if you can ask them about their disability, right? Because it might be a sensitive subject. So make sure that your questions that you're asking are kind. Because if you're asking rude questions, you think they're going to want to talk to you or get to know you?
No.
Right, so that leads me into my next letter. The next letter of the alphabet is a B, right? So be kind. What are some of the ways that you could show kindness to those who are disabled? You need to help, but also to listen. If your teachers are trying to teach you something and you're not listening, are you able to hear what they're saying?